Toxic masculinity. This is a hot topic when you hear a feminist talking about things that are wrong with society, things that need to be changed, things that are problematic or that trigger them. And this is one thing that bothers me for a lot of reasons, but mainly it's just a stupid argument about how things need to change. And it's the idea of toxic masculinity. And what's funny is I've heard different sides to this. I've heard the side saying that all masculinity is toxic, that pretty much males are just bad people in general. And then I've heard the argument that there are some aspects of masculinity that are toxic. And I'm more attacking the specifics of this toxic masculinity, which does not exist, by the way. There's nothing toxic about masculinity. Masculinity and femininity are two complementary things where masculinity fails, femininity picks up, and they're just two kind of they're like yin and yang. They're perfectly complementary to create this whole, or like the all-around person. A husband and a wife, the husband supposedly because of masculinity is better with some things, and femininity, the woman is better with others. Now, this is not the case universally at all. These are just generic stereotypes, but more just generalizations, I guess, about which gender could or should do certain things. And these are absolutely not set in stone, and no one is required to do these. A woman literally has the most rights and the most freedom to do what she wants in society nowadays. A woman is free to do whatever she wants. Whatever she wants. If she wants to be completely masculine, completely feminine, a mix, whatever she wants. It's her choice entirely. So this idea of toxic masculinity is in all bullshit. And if I find a great video that highlights all of the arguments about toxic masculinity, I may do a response to that video. But for now, I want to tackle something that I've seen brought up in these videos, but I've never seen it properly debunked the way that I would do it. I'm not saying that it's never been properly debunked overall, but the way that I personally see things is the way that I want to attack this. So the idea is that toxic masculinity teaches men and boys that they need to suppress and push down their emotions, basically be emotionless robots. And not only is this bullshit, but it's not, the fact of the matter is, it's not about suppressing your emotions. It's not about hiding your emotions. It's about controlling your emotions. That's what masculinity is. Men grow up learning that they need to control their emotions. There's been studies done that show that men and women roughly have the same emotional stability. They have the same emotional changes: happy, sad, angry, crying, all these different emotions. So we are roughly the same. Now, this obviously differs certain times of the month. Certain times in the month, women are more emotional hormonally through things like their period. There's also kind of the male period where I think it's once a month actually too. The male is also more emotional too. And it has to do, I think, with testosterone imbalances or something along those lines. I don't know enough about that to really comment on that. But just overall, in general, the genders have the same amount of emotions. But men learn that they need to control theirs. And I'll use my relationship for it as an example. I've been dating my girlfriend for almost 4 years now, and she is quite emotional, especially around her period. And I have learned through our relationship that we would not be together right now if I didn't learn how to control my emotions. What I mean by that, and this is where it's the difference between control and hide your emotions, is we'll be talking or texting, more often texting about something, and she'll say or do something that pisses me off. But instead of calling her out on it and starting what will be a fight, because anytime I get angry or upset, it causes a fight, I take a step back. Yes, I'm angry, but I take a step back and I evaluate the situation. And I think to myself, should I be angry in this situation? Should I be upset in this situation? And from there, I see, is it worth it to be upset or mad? Is it really that big of a deal? Or am I just, for some reason, being emotional? Did something happen to me? Or am I just tired? And is that causing me to be more angry or upset? I use that and I say, oh, I have no reason to be angry. And then I'm not hiding my emotions. I'm not suppressing it. I'm controlling it. I'm just not angry anymore because I'm thinking to myself, yeah, okay, she did this. She said this and it pissed me off. But guess what? It shouldn't have. So I'm not angry anymore. I just focus on something else. I clear my mind and I'm not angry anymore. Men learn to control their emotions. But if I didn't do that, we would literally be constantly fighting because we are both very argumentative people. We argue a lot. And if we were angry or upset a lot, we'd just be constantly fighting. Neither of us would want to be in a relationship like that. This is what masculinity is. Men learn that they need to control their emotions. Control their emotions. And in fact, any mature human being needs to learn to control their emotions a little bit. But women typically, this is not sexist, but women typically have less control over their emotions. And this is something that you can see through statistics, stereotypes, yes, are harmful, but they're also built off of reason. The reason why the stereotypical woman is emotional and a complete wreck, which is not true, is the fact that it is more likely that a woman will be emotional because of hormonal problems. But it seems to be the fact that women lack control over their emotions, not that they necessarily have more emotions or more extreme emotions. So this idea that men just need to hide their emotions and they're just in their shells, they're all pissed off and upset and scared and angry and just is bullshit. It's not true. I don't hide my emotions. Okay, that's not true. I will hide my emotions sometimes, but it's in a situation where I feel I need to hide my emotion. For example, my girlfriend's cousin came to our college and she has really bad asthma. Well, I don't know if it's really bad. She has asthma. She was using an inhaler constantly, and she had been drinking, she had been smoking weed a little bit, and she actually stopped breathing. And we had to call an ambulance. Well, my girlfriend was literally just sitting there crying. She had no clue what to do. I had to call the ambulance because literally I was surrounded by only girls. They were all freaking out. And I was freaking out too. There was a girl laying on the ground, not breathing right in front of me. I was freaked out, but I had to hide my emotions because number one, we had to get something going. We had to problem solve and call an ambulance. And number two, it would cause the other people in the room to freak out even more and just escalate the situation. There are times where it is appropriate to hide or suppress your emotions, and there are other times where it's more appropriate to control your emotions. This is what masculinity is. Masculinity is learning to control your emotions. That is what it has to do with. This is not harmful. In fact, this is actually incredibly beneficial, especially to a lot of relationships and a lot of situations. But that's about it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to comment, rate, and subscribe. And as always, have a nice day.